It's a little bit difficult to do all the different aspects of memorization in 1 hour. I did present a training workshop to our SDS practitioners last year, so if you have any questions, you can also contact them or you can email me. I will give you my email address at the end of the session. All right, who knows anything about memorization? Okay, not yet. Okay, let's quickly have a look. Memorization. I do have a presentation. I prefer not to work with that too much. Just the basic things about memorization. I want to go through it with you. Memorization is a mental process. It basically works like you see there. You get information, you get into contact with information, you receive it, you encode it, then you store it, and then later on you have to recall or retrieve it. It works exactly the same as a computer. Okay. If you take a computer, you get data and information in different formats, audio or visual. Then you have to enter that data into your computer system. That's where you encode it. Then you have to allocate it to the correct file location. For example, a JPEG or a RAW file or a movie file, anything like that, where you see under My Documents, for example, so that you can later on find it and retrieve it in the correct order and with as much information as possible. That's basically how memory works. Okay, but we're not going to work with computers today. We're going to look at different types of memory. First one that you get is your rehearsal strategies. Everybody knows that. Underlining and highlighting. Who does that while they study? All right, yes, we all sit with highlighters, we underline. That's fine. It is a memory technique. It does help you. Repeated reading and writing. Who does that? Reading through the work over and over and over and over. Yes, it's a memory technique. But what's the problem with that? Yes, you forget the word quickly. Think of a parrot. How do we teach a parrot how to talk? We repeat over and over and over and over and over. The parrot can repeat what it says, but it doesn't understand what it says. Okay, that's the same thing with this. You never really get to understand the work. There's no sort of deeper meaning attached to it. What we're going to focus on today, memory mnemonics. This is basically any kind of memory aid or memory tool that you use. On the internet, you can find hundreds of thousands of websites dedicated to memory mnemonics. Okay. That's a kind of the stage tricks that people use. They tell you they can remember all these people's names. You've seen those guys on DSTV. Darren Brown. What's that other magician guy? Dynamo. Basically, all of them use memory mnemonics. What we're going to focus on today, association and visualization. How do we remember things? How do we recall stuff? Do we remember words or do we remember pictures? Pictures. Who remembers words? Okay, let's have a little test. Everybody close your eyes. Close your eyes, don't worry. Nothing's going to happen. Right, if I say purple horse. Okay, purple horse. Open your eyes. What did you see? The words purple and horse, or did you see a purple horse? Purple horse. Okay. All right. Most of the stuff that we remember, you remember through visuals. You do remember words. Yes, you connect that word to an image. But when you hear something, you immediately you recall that image. Apple. You see an apple? Okay. So we need to do that. I know earlier you had Leani for a session on the brain profiling. Left brain, right brain. I think she would have said something, right brain more picture orientated, left brain more sort of verbally orientated. Right. Oh, tomorrow. Okay, you'll be hearing that tomorrow. It doesn't matter. Memory mnemonics, you can adapt it to either side. People that are right brain orientated or left brain. Okay, what we need to do for visualization. you need to recreate the images that you need to memorize. You have to visualize them. Okay. We're not going to work with paper. I'm going to draw some pictures on here. But we're just going to teach you how to visualize things. After you've done the visualization, you're going to do association, whereby you connect it to something else, or you connect 2 things, or 3 things, or 4 things in order to memorize them. Things that we're going to use, you're going to have to be creative. Okay, who is not creative in here? Okay, who is creative in here? Okay, all right. Everybody's creative, just depends on what type of format you work with. Okay, I see there are some of the art students here. All right. They tend to be very right brain orientated. Okay, that's what they work with. They work with visual things. Other students here from maybe somatology and so on might be a little bit more left brain oriented because that's more into the sciences. But in both of the 2 fields, you can be creative. Everybody is creative. Creativity is basically just creating something new or changing something into something else. Right, we're going to use all our senses. How many senses do we have? 5. Name them. Sight, smell, hearing, that's a mouth, touch. I still suck at drawing hands. All right. Eyes, smell, sight, smell, hearing, taste, touch. Those are the senses. Those senses you use to gather information into your sort of computer system or your memory, and then to encode it and store it. When you visualize something, you're going to use as many of your senses as possible. Next thing, humor. Make things funny. Okay, we remember funny things. You don't remember your lecturer giving you a presentation about all the stuff, and you just have to read it and read it and read it and read it. We remember jokes, we remember movies, we remember music. Things that are creative, funny and interesting. Vivid color. Make things bright. Okay, lots of shiny, happy people colors. Exaggerate things. Make them really big or really small. Did anybody see the big orange gorilla on the Reserve Bank this morning? No, you didn't. It wasn't there. But if it was there, would you remember it? All right. You get what I'm saying? It wasn't there. But if it was there, you would remember that. Right. I exaggerated it. A big purple or big orange gorilla. That's something that you'll remember. Movement. If something moves, somebody walks down the corridor at a normal pace, are they going to stand out from the crowd? No. If somebody runs down the corridor, if somebody crawls at sort of a snail's pace down the corridor, you're going to remember that. Okay. Okay, so what we're going to do, just a little exercise. Who's got any questions on this? Basically what we're going to do, we're going to take stuff you need to memorize, we're going to change it into an interesting picture. Okay, that's all we're going to do. It's very easy. Give me any word, anything. Hands up. Camera. Camera. All right. How are you going to remember a camera? That's a normal handheld. The lens flashing, but let's just work with the word camera. So you just need to remember the word. How are you going to make this camera funny, interesting, different? What size is a camera usually? Not this big. Okay. So what if we make it that small? Okay. It's a really small camera. What else? Who's got a yellow camera? Serious? Yellow and black. All right, let's make it nice bright yellow. What does it smell like? Like lychee. Cheese. Smells like cheese. Is it moving around? What's it doing? That is doing the worm. Okay, quickly, close your eyes, get that picture. Really small yellow camera, smelling of cheese, doing the worm. Okay. Next object, anything. It can be work from your schoolwork as well. It can be any word. Burger. Hands up.
Burger. A burger.
A burger, like lunch. Okay, give me a picture of a burger. Boy, what does it look like? What's a burger? A burglar. A burger normally, what does it normally look like? It's round. Okay, but remember we have to make it different. It has to stand out. So, a square burger. Does it have a face? Okay, another thing that you can do with your visualization, you make things, if you have to, a little bit rude or crude or gross. Okay, we've got a square burger. What's it doing? It's eating what? People. Okay, you're going to, I promise you, you will remember that. Lots of little people, instead of a bun made of horse meat or cow meat, you've got little people in the burger. Okay, trust me, it's going to work. What else about the burger? Now everybody's scared because the burger's eating people. Okay, let's move on to that. Next one, next word, anything. Anything. Apathy. Okay. Apathy is 1P, eh? Yeah. Apathy. What does this mean? Apathy is you don't care. You're like, ah. Just don't, that's correct. Right? You just don't care about anything. Okay. What does apathy look like? Yeah. Okay. Like? Patrick, SpongeBob. Gary or Patrick?
Gary.
Okay. Gary from SpongeBob SquarePants, does he kind of embody apathy?
Yes.
Okay. Now the important thing, you have to connect that. If you see the picture of Gary, you have to remember apathy. That's the important part if you use different words other than objects. There are other techniques as well, we'll get to that, but to give you an example, you can just link it to something else. For example, Gary will remind you of apathy. Anything else? Theater. And it was, okay. Doesn't look like a theater, but that's a theater, amphitheater. And there's your actors. Okay, that's a theater, believe it or not. What does the theater look like to make it different? What makes it different? What about a theater that's reversed? Instead of the audience looking at the actors are watching the audience. Okay, what else about the theater? Anything? What color is the seats? Pink. Pink seats. What are the actors? Are they wearing those drama masks? All of them are? Horse heads. Okay, all the actors are wearing horse heads looking at the audience. Okay, the audience are actually in the play. Next object, anything? Umbrella. Tell me about the umbrella. What? Tell me about the umbrella.
Rihanna.
It's full of holes, man. Actually useless. Rihanna, what's a Rihanna? Yeah, there's a little girl standing there. Okay. Rihanna, if you see an umbrella, you will, or just this little girl, Rihanna, standing with an umbrella in the rain. Okay. What else? Teddy bear. Ted. Glasses on. Nice. Right, there's Ted. Okay. All right. How long will it? Let's say this. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 objects. How long will it take you to memorize them and then remember them for the next 6 years? Easy. Or well, even for the next week's fine. Let's have a go. What we're going to do now, I've done the visualization, you've got the picture of these objects, images, words. Now we're going to associate them. So we're going to take the first one. We're going to link it to the second one. How do we do that? You get them to do something to each other. Number 1 is going to do something to number 2. Number 2 is going to do something to number 3. Number 3 to number 4. 4 to 5 and 5 to 6. That's association. You link them to each other. What does the small yellow cheese smelling worm doing camera do to the man eating hamburger? Yes, it crawls up its nose. Remember, it's a small camera. The camera crawls up the robot's nose. Not the robot, the burger, sorry. Okay, then, what does the burger do to Gary the snail? Eats it. Yes. Why not? The burger comes, it eats Gary the snail. Remember, okay, Gary the snail is not gone. You just made a link here. Gary still exists, still just as apathetic as ever. What does Gary the snail do to the theater?
He makes them watch the whole thing.
He
makes the audience watch the whole thing.
He makes the audience watch them, so he's got hands like puppet, like a puppet master. Okay. Okay. Right, so Gary controls the audience, he makes them watch the actors. What does the theater do to the umbrella? He
beats her.
Kicks her around or kicks her? Kicks her out, yes. I'm sure Johanna knows a lot about that. Bad joke, sorry, no, bad joke. Not funny. Yes, the theater kicks the umbrella. What does the umbrella then do to Ted? No, it has to do something to him. Not ask him for something, do something to him.
He hides the Ted.
Somebody. Huh? Okay, yes. Kills and eats Ted. Yes, the umbrella kills and eats Ted. Okay. Yes. Okay, don't worry. We'll get back to that in a bit. Okay, we're going to move on to one of the other techniques now. This one, the number rhyme method. Okay, I'm sure a lot of you might know this one already. You'll see there it's got the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But instead of using those numbers with this technique, you are going to create objects that rhyme with those numbers. And those objects will be the things that you link your things that you need to memorize to. 1 rhymes with bun. So what you're going to do, you're going to create, you can draw it on paper or just sort of visually create a bun using those things. Humor, color, your senses. Right, so make an orange bun that smells like strawberries and is dripping with cream soda. Right, something that you can really remember. Same thing with the second one, your shoe. Create a picture of a shoe that you will remember. And a tree, a door, a hive, sticks, heaven, skate, wine, and a hen. You see how those things, they rhyme. That's why it's the number rhyme method. I want everybody quickly, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Get yourself, you don't have to do it on paper, just get yourself a picture of those things. Remember, like we did with the camera now, make it a bun or something that's interesting and funny, even gross or rude, something that you can remember. Don't just have a normal piece of bread. You don't remember that, we're going to forget that. Okay. All right. Does everybody have a picture for each of these things? Guys, remember, you're not going to write a test on this. This is just to give you an idea of how it works. Okay, you're not going to get it 100% correct in just an hour. It does take practice. We're going to use some words just to give you an idea of how this method works. Right, let's say those are words. Those are ancient philosophers. Well, some of them not that ancient, but it's philosophers. Let's say you need to memorize their names for an essay question. How are you going to do that? Some of them might be a little bit difficult to remember. I mean, Protagoras and Archimedes and Heracles. We're going to do exactly the same with these names as we did with the objects earlier. We're going to visualize them, change them into something different, something that will remind you of the word. Let's have a look at that first one. Pythagoras. Look at the word. What does it remind you of? Triangles. 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 If you had maths at school, yes. If you didn't have maths at school, it's not going to remind you of triangles. Okay, but yes, I get okay. Triangles. What else? If you look at the word. Pi. Python. Gore. There's python, gore. Gorillas. You see all the different things you can make with that?
Yes.
Okay, let's take the ones with triangles. What is Pythagoras'
That's, yeah.
theorem? X, y equals x minus r. R minus x. Okay. So, you can either have that. Let's have another one. You had a python.
Yes.
And, okay, so we've got a python. What else? What can you do with that goras? Gorillas. A python doing what? Gorilla. Gorilla is just a big teddy bear. Python wrapping himself around gorillas. Okay. Do you see that from the word?
Yeah.
Okay. Make it gruesome. Make it gross if you have to. Okay. The gorilla's turning blue in the face from the python. Second one. Protagoras. Protein shake. Protein. Protag. Okay, that's wrong.
A gorilla wearing the protea uniform thingy.
Yeah. You can have a gorilla wearing a Proteas t-shirt. You can have a pro with a tag of Oreos on him. A pro, I've actually done that one before. A pro basketball player with a tag that says Oras or Oreos. You just have to make that connection. Alright, what I want you to do quickly is with those words, okay, for example, Plato. What do we get with Plato?
Full of potatoes.
Plate full of O's. Archimedes.
An ark.
Ark.
And a meter.
And the meters, a Mercedes.
Yes.
You can have a nice black Mercedes down there. I know what a Mercedes looks like. Oh, what's the sign for meds? That's sort of meds. Okay. What I want you guys to do is take these words, break them into, just do your own thing quickly. Change them into something you can remember, that you can associate with. Some of you look really confused. Who does not have a clue what to do? Be honest. I'll explain again. Explain to you again. Okay. What you need to do, take the word, break it into smaller parts. And with those parts, you have to sort of make up a picture. You see what we did with Plato? We've got a plate and O. So we've got a plate full of O's. You have to change it into a picture. Okay. Okay, let's just do up to number 5. Heracles.
Ankles.
Right?
My ankles.
Her ankles. Yeah. Sure, that's quick. Yeah. That's ankles. Her ankles. Or Heracles, Hercules. It almost sounds the same. Hercules is a big strong guy from Greek mythology. Okay, what you do then, you've got your pictures. Now you're going to connect your bun, your shoe, your tree, your door to them. So once again what you do, your bun is going to do something to the Pythagoras, so to the gorillas and the python. What is your bun doing to it? He's going to put it in between and make a hamburger. Yes, he takes it, puts it in, makes a hamburger. What is the shoe doing to Protagoras? What's he doing? It's kicking it, yeah. Just visualize it kicking it. What is the tree doing to the plate full of O's? It's a tree of potatoes. Huh? The tree has to do something to the plate. Physically, what's it doing? Stabbing it, yes.
It's taking away
It's killing it. It's very gruesome, it's very aggro today. Everybody wants to eat and kill everything. What is the door doing to the arch with the Meds or the Mercedes?
It's broken, it doesn't want to open.
Yeah, it's standing in front of it and it's closing it off. Right, or it's opening the door to that. How many do you got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and... What? Her ankles, yes. What is the hive doing to her ankles? Yes, there we go. The hive falls onto her ankles and it stings it and it swells up. Okay, you've been distracted long enough. Previous section, what was the first word? Camera. Second word? Third word? Fourth word? Fifth word? Sixth word? See how simple it is? You can remember stuff that you just look at quickly for 10 minutes later on. Just this to distract you a little bit. Okay. What you guys need to do, like I said, there's no way that I can go through all the methods with you. You guys will have to get in touch with either an SDS practitioner like myself, or Nadia, or one of the others on campus, or get onto the internet. Research this. You don't even have to research. There's hundreds of thousands of websites that explains it really easy and straightforward. The first one that we did is just the link method. This one. Where basically you just link the first thing to the second thing, the second to the third to the fourth. This one, number rhyme method, where you create something that rhymes with that number and you link it to the object. There's another one. Number shape method. Alright, I'm going to show you how it works. I'm not going to test you on it. It works more or less the same as the previous one. I want you guys to write this down. Look up the link method. So you can search for that on Google. Link method. Second one is the number rhyme method. This one, number shape. Instead of creating words that you link the things to with rhymes, you're going to create physical objects that look like the shape of the number. Right? It's just to create that link in your memory of, so that you can link something else to it and you'll remember it every time. The number 1, what does that remind you of? Give me an object. We've got some examples on there.
A spear.
A spear, yes. What else? Give me something other than stick or candle. So you don't have to read it off there. Be creative. No, just that stick. What else? Hey? The tadpole. Hey? Tadpole. Tadpole. Fries. The chip. Alright, you get the idea. Number 2. What does the 2 remind you of? Twins. I get what you're saying, 2 and twins, but only work with the shape of the number. You've got the, okay, let's use those two. You've got a swan. You see there's a swan or a duck or a snake. A 3. A bird, yes. A bird flying. And some more birds flying. All right. If you turn it on its side. A 4. Can you connect? Yes, a sailboat. Does everybody see the sailboat? Or a kite with a string attached to it. 5, a fish hook. Alright, let's just work with those ones. There, you've got a fish hook. So everybody see the fish hook? And a helmet. If you turn it on its side.
No, yeah, from the end of the 5, make the circle to the other end of the 5.
That way.
Other way, the other way.
Like that.
Yes. Okay.
Come on. Eh? And goggles. 6. The golf club. 7, let's say a cliff with waves at the bottom. 8, a racetrack. I'm just going to go to the ones that I put on there. What you do there is exactly the same. Now you're going to link the objects or the words that you need to memorize to these things. So your spear will be doing something to the first thing you memorize. The snake will be doing something to the second thing, to the third, to the fourth, and so on. So you don't link the things, all of them together, one at a time. Do you want us to do exercises on this? Isn't? Say again. Okay, this one, number shape method. Please go and have a look at that. Right, this one, the Roman room method or just the room method. For every set of words or objects that you need to memorize, you select a room. Room that you are familiar with. So your bedroom, your dorm room, your kitchen, your folks' living room. And you choose a room that you are really familiar with. So for example, this one at the bottom corner, let's say there's a table. You know that table is always there. Then you've got a desk and maybe a TV, a spiky plant, a bed, something like that. So what happens with this one is every time that you enter the room, that specific room, give me an example of a room that you're familiar with. Hands up, I can't see you saying anything. Anybody? Yes?
My
Study. Study, yes. How does your study look? Where's the door?
The door's on the right,
On the right. Okay?
and my desk is on the left.
Okay, let's go this way around. Over there.
Yeah,
There's your desk.
yes.
Next.
Dustbin,
Dustbin. Next.
bookcase.
There.
No, further up there.
There. Bookcase. Next.
Filing cabinet.
Filing cabinet. There.
Yes.
Yeah, filing cabinet. Next. Right?
Okay, then the window is there.
There.
If you want to put that in, yeah, it's a long window. Yeah. And then there's a bed in the corner.
Bed.
Coming down to the wall. Yes, there's a stairs.
And?
And that's about it.
That's it. Okay. And some plants next to the door. Just because. Okay, what you do then? So you are familiar with this room, you know where everything is. Then you decide on this room, every time that I use this room, I'm either going to go either left or right way around. Which one do you prefer? Left. She's always going to work that way around in this room. What she does then, she takes the words or the objects she needs to memorize. As you walk into the room, first thing you do is you turn left and you see what? Desk. And you place your object in some way or another in contact or doing something to the desk. Okay, so what was the first thing we had? Let's say we had the Pythagoras, the python and the gorillas. What are they doing? They're strangling each other on the desk. All right. Next one was the Protagoras. What was the gorilla with the protea on its shirt doing to the dustbin? It had a very long partying night. It was into the dustbin. Remember, we're working with Ted, that teddy bear from the movie. He will do something like that in the dustbin, or not. Bookcase. What was the next thing? Plate and O's. Plato. What was that doing on the bookcase? Just chilling. Just chilling. Filing cabinet and her ankle. Come, give me ideas. The ankle is repeatedly kicking the cabinet and it's full of dents. Right. The window, and we had somebody say Archimedes was fourth. Yeah, I think we mixed up two of them. Alright, so Archimedes and the window. If you open up the window, there's that arch with the medical sign. Archimedes. Meds. What else did we have? Yeah, that's all that we did. Okay, let's make something up. Roger Bacon. Yes. How do we draw Roger Bacon?
A Rottweiler with a smaller mirror of bacon.
There's bacon. That's Roger Bacon. Okay. This is what you do with that. If you choose a different room, let's say you also have your kitchen. And let's say kitchen's door, then maybe for your kitchen you will always move the sort of anti-clockwise. Then just link it to objects in your room. You'll remember that because you know exactly what's in your room. Okay, that's the room. Then there's the journey method. Okay, journey method for this one. Okay, that's almost finished and that's really warm, and this is not always the easiest stuff to grasp and to understand when you're just doing it like this. That's why I say you have to then look at it and get into contact with us. The journey or the landmark method. You choose a route that you are really familiar with. So for example, not falling asleep. Not falling asleep. Any journey that you are familiar with. So for example, from here to town, where in town? Where in Sunnyside? Sunnyside is a big place. House 22. All right, yes. We're going from here to house 22 in Sunnyside. So we start where? Prestige Auditorium. You end up in house 22 in Sunnyside. That's where you're going. What landmarks and things are there along the way that you are familiar with, that you know that are there every day? Start here. Start with Prestige Auditorium when you walk out of here.
The cemetery.
Is that the first thing you see? Right? Yeah.
The security.
This building, when you walk out of the building, it can be anything.
The library.
The fountain, yes. Everybody sees the fountain. Has everybody seen the fountain on campus? Okay, right. All right, let's take the most sort of distinctive landmarks. We've got the Prestige Auditorium. We start here. Then we've got the fountain. What's the next big thing? Okay, main gate. Main gate. Cemetery. What else? After the cemetery. That?
It's sewage place nearby.
Oh, yes. Sewage farm. Sewage farm. Waar was dat? Huh? What else? Okay, we're at Marabastad, Sunnyside. You get into Sunnyside, what's the landmarks you see there? Hey? Which road do you take to Sunnyside? Okay. Showgrounds. All right. Sunnyside. Sunnyside. In Sunnyside, there's what? There's a McDonald's. McDonald's. Sunny Park. And then House 22. Okay, what you do then, you've got these landmarks. Remember, you can choose any journey you go on as long as there are landmarks and things that are there all the time. And you do the same as with the room method. On your journey, you walk out of the Prestige Auditorium, first thing you see is the fountain. So you visualize that the small yellow camera smelling of cheese is swimming in the fountain. Then you continue on your journey, you get to the main gate where the security guard is harassing the burger. Alright, then you get to the cemetery where what is happening? Yes, Gary is boring the dead. Okay. He's apathetic about all the people in the cemetery. Then we get to the sewage farm. What was next? Yes. Sure. That's a bit rough. Okay. But yes, let's use that one. Then we continue on to Marabastad, where what is happening? What was the last one? Was Ted. Teddy bear. In Marabastad. What happens to a teddy bear in Marabastad? You get sold, yes. In Marabastad, the teddy bear gets sold for 5 cents. Okay, you get what you do with this one. Right. That's the most important thing is when you get any word or object to memorize, is to first visualize it as something interesting, something that you'll remember, create a picture for it. What you're basically doing with this is creating movies in your mind. We all remember movies. Okay. I understand, yes, we like to read work when we study, and it works. But if you create things that are funny and interesting, you will remember it for longer. Okay. Who has ever watched What's a cool movie that you watched recently? Ted. Okay, let's take something else. Rise of the Guardians. How many times have you seen it? Oh, how many times have you seen it? Once. How much of the movie? Listen up. So let's say you've watched Rise of the Guardians once. How much of the movie can you remember? Most? 60, 70? 80% of a movie, watching it only once. Okay. Your schoolwork, how many times do you have to go through it over and over and over? It's fine to study work like this, but I promise you, if you spend some time on this, learn the techniques, it helps. Okay, there's probably a lot of questions which nobody will want to ask now. I know how it works. Usually no questions then this afternoon. Okay, that's my contact details. On that phone number, Mondays to Thursdays from 8 till 4, Fridays 8 to 1-ish. The email as well. The email you can send anytime. I'll check it. Well, most of the day I'm on that email. Yes. Office on Arts Campus is building 12 there where, well, basically right next to the cafeteria. Where Renier and guys used to be. Alright, guys, thank you for your patience. I appreciate it. I know it's really warm and you guys are tired.